since we all met at Haverhill, why don't we talk about that show for a little bit? Like, because I'd like to make a video afterwards of, like basically all 5 of us, our review of that show.
Mm-hmm.
So let's throw it around the room. Like, give me like your initial impression of the show. Let's start with Johnny, and we'll go around the room. Go ahead, Johnny.
So the notion I had going into this show is that it was established. They'd done it before, and it was popular, and it got good word of mouth directly from you, Keith. So I was really excited going into the show. Now, I know a library show can kind of be hit or miss for some people because it's just really relatively based upon how well it's marketed. I did really well at the last library show that you recommended, which was Athol. So this one, it was like, I kind of had my expectations in check. And in turn, I was pleasantly surprised. Real happy with the turnout that was there. Real cool to see some of the other people that were exhibiting. And we met these wonderful guys here too. So that was kind of a plus positive. So, and I said it to somebody at the table, I don't recall who I said it to, but it's like one of my takeaways from a good convention, even if it may not be financially beneficial. If I can walk away with a networking contact or just meeting some really good people, that's a good takeaway as well. And I think that, Haverhill Comic-Con did that for me.
Yeah, definitely. How about you, Travis and Tanner? Like, what are you guys' thoughts on the show?
I agree with a lot of what you said. I got turned on to the show by Mark Mastel, who I believe you guys are
I know
next
Mark
to.
very well.
Yeah, he's been really great to me. We met super early on in my making comics, and he's been really supportive and helpful. But like I said, I thought it was going to be a low key show, library, kind of small. But I did well financially. It was one of the better shows that I've had. I only recently started turning a profit at shows, but this one, this one had a built-in profit too, because you only had to pay a percentage, instead of a table fee, which is nice.
Yeah, that's nice too. That's what I was going to mention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it was really nice for the library to set it up that way because it makes it a lot easier as creators to go in there and be able to network without having to worry about making that overhead.
Yeah, and everything's profit, which is nice, instead of having to get over that table mark. But, like I sold well and everybody I met was super cool. Met Jeff, was it Jesse? I forgot his last name.
Jesse, it's Jesse
Lundberg.
Yeah, Lundberg. Yeah, right next
actually,
to
it
us.
was Margaret who introduced
awesome artist.
Super cool guy. And
we got to sit there and look at a lot of his work throughout the show. It was a lot of great stuff. Absolutely.
Nice.
And
well,
everybody,
you scooped the alternate cover on Surrounded by Death, right?
I got both of the first and second issue, and I got the beans actually.
Oh, the beans. Okay, yeah. Jesse actually did alternate covers for me too. Somebody came over with one of the alternate covers.
Yeah, she showed it to us while we were getting it, and I have already broken into those coffee beans, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they are
good
fantastic.
Stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
well, I drink
my wife loves it,
so it's hard to hide. It's hard to hide bad beans.
Yeah.
It was better traffic than I was expecting, and everybody who came, like sometimes you get people who kind of just walk by and look, but everybody who stopped by was really engaging, and like I had some good conversations with creators and also just people that were walking through. So I had a great time.
Yeah, awesome. How about you, Jeff? What was your impression of Haverhill?
Yeah, I had a great time. All the traffic was really good. Had lots of really good conversations with people. Depending on the show, sometimes you get people just kind of, you get the side eyes. They walk by, but everybody was really engaged and you could tell they were really excited to be there, which was awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think that's the best thing about small shows is that there was maybe 30 tables there. I would say maybe roughly
thereabouts.
And so with that show being as small as it is, you're easily. Everybody that goes into the show sees every vendor that's there. And I think that's huge because when you're at a bigger show like Wicked Comic Con, the chances of you not being seen are so much higher, And I think that helps. Like if you can be seen at your table and what you're selling, the chances of selling go way up, So,
right.
Yeah, I too agree. I think the best thing about library shows is that they are low vendor fees. So like this one worked in the way that the table was mostly free, but they asked for like a 10% donation to the library off of your sales. So, you know, it was almost like an honor system kind of thing. But I thought,
which
great idea.
I forgot about and left, and now I have to mail them a check.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
because
I'm not-
forgot to
I'm
catch
glad
up
you're
with-
I'm glad you're gonna do that.
I'm not used
Dude.
to having to do that. I'm used to having my fees paid. And I was sitting at dinner with I went to dinner with Mark Mestel and G. Michael Dobbs.
Yeah,
after,
the four of us are sitting
and-
there, and he was
and I was like,
typing up an
"Oh,
email before we even
no."
got drinks. He's like, "Sorry, I
That's
forgot."
funny. So Haverhill, if you're watching, that you look for a check from Travis.
And so, real quick, I wanted to poll everybody. When you paid your dues for the table, did anybody ask for a receipt?
I mean, I didn't pay mine, so
Ask for a receipt. Ask for a receipt. It's good for taxes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was gonna,
Oh, yeah,
Johnny.
no, Mark
but-
actually made me do that while we were sitting there. I was buying your comic. He said, no. Got to make sure you get that. That's a tax write-off.
Yeah, hells yeah.
Good advice from the greats right there. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Definitely, especially if you are, you know, definitely making it part of your business. You know, it's definitely a good thing. We did a couple videos on tax stuff and being free.
We are not tax professionals. We're just
No,
sharing
but
our
we
experiences.
gave like our little, you know, our little tips and what we do. You
that's
know,
that's a part of the game that I haven't really gotten into that kind of freaks me out. You know, I've like I said, I've started making more money, and the prospect of having to pay quarterly taxes and keep track of all that stuff's pretty intense. You know,
watch the two videos me and Johnny made on the channel. Like you may find like, you know, what Johnny does works better for you, or what I do, you know, like anyway, it's not, it doesn't have to be daunting, which is good. You know, it's just how you approach it, you know? So
Yeah, you guys have a great catalog of like practical advice. I was checking it out. You guys, stuff in your treasure trove that we're going through here, especially he's been a lot more seasoned in this than I am. I've only really been delving in this last year. I know this is my first big push out into having and writing, and it's following along this guy's coattails with his hard work. I know you guys are seeing.
I do a whole series on just vending at shows that you guys could probably pull a bunch of like little nuggets.
It's tough, you know. I you know, like I said, I recently started turning a profit. You know, for a couple of years, I didn't do anything, make any money. You know, but I mean, part of it I think is my art's gotten a lot better, but you know, I'm always trying to reinvent and figure out, you know, what kind of prints to make, what kind of deals to have, you know, and you know, like this time I had a new print, I had some new you know, kind of discounts that I think work to my favor, you know, but it's hard to figure out what works, and every show is different too, you know.
Yeah, and the stuff that you sell now, you go back to the same show next year, it'll be something totally different that people want. So it's a game, man. It's constantly changing, and you never know. But as far as like a one-day show with Haverhill, do you guys around the room, you guys coming back next year? I've been doing it for like 3 or 4 years. I like it
for sure. And I also just loved, I've never been out to Haverhill. It was a wicked cool town
and a beautiful venue. I mean, that fountain,
beautiful venue. That the library's big. And a lot of cosplayers too, which I was surprised by. For such a small show, you know.
It always surprises me. You know, you do the local shows and you don't think you'll see any, but people still, you know. I mean, I think cosplayers like any excuse to costume, you know. So
there too, there were some solid cosplays. And it was
definitely
friendly too.
But the other thing that was interesting was KidsCon was the same day up in New Hampshire, and it didn't feel like the shows interfered with each other, which was nice, you know.
Yeah, because it's pretty close.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, I'm gonna say thumbs up for Haverhill from me. It was a profitable show, and I too like the networking aspect of the smaller shows and meeting you guys for the first time and talking to Jeff for a little bit for the first time, and a lot of the vendors I kind of know a little bit of, you know, but I met a few other ones, and you know, so.
Yeah, I met a lot of people that I'm excited to, you know, keep up relationships with.
Well,
I agree.
With those smaller cons, you get a chance to like make, at least to some small degree. I think we spoke to everybody's at like every different table at one point. You know what I mean? Because it's hard not to, you know, you're there for how many 6 hours.
Yeah.
You know, and there's those little lulls in time, and I know that there's points where I got to disappear. And he has to disappear.
It's nice to have him now, because for years I was by myself at my table, you know, and I could never really get up and go around.
Yeah, definitely. Any final words on Haverhill that anyone wants to make before we close out that subject? No,
next
I
year.
think we covered everything. All right, perfect.
Yeah,
So Haverhill, thumbs up. Check that show out. Especially it's comic focused and indie creator focused. So that one's good.